This is episode 12 of the Remix Your World podcast with Marco da Silva. Welcome to Remix Your World. I'm Allison Kalagna, global DJ and music producer turned life remixer and personal growth coach. In each episode, we bring you real talk, inspiring stories, and heartfelt conversations of personal transformation to help you uplift and amplify your life. This is the Remix Your World podcast. Marco da Silva has become an international brand as a commercial dancer and choreographer through collaborations with major artists including Britney Spears, Kylie Minogue, Ricky Martin, Nicki Minaj, Christina Aguilera, Avril Lavigne, Mariah Carey, George Michael, Muppets the Movie, and most recently as a judge for So You Think You Can Dance in both Germany and Israel. In 2009, Marco decided to pursue his love for house music. Under Peter Rauhofer's mentorship, Marco dived deep into DJing, turning his passion into a new challenge. With distinctive dirty beats inspired by his edgy dance moves, he began the development of his sound and launched his career officially. Barcelona's leading circuit festival quickly took notice of a rising Marco and extended him an invitation to play at their flagship summer event. After a powerful and talked about debut at the biggest circuit festival for the LGBT community, Matinee's Circuit Festival, Marco was immediately extended a new residency for this event. During the winter of that same year, Marco made his North American debut opening at Peter Rauhofer's Work during the 25th annual White Party Festival at the world-famous Miami Beach Club, Cameo. The audience praised Marco's debut, earning him an immediate residency at Work and an invitation to be signed to Star 69 Records. Marco then went on to perform at the Amfar Gala Awards in Los Angeles. This success under this new corporate arena made him a favorite as a DJ for high fashion designers D Squared. Marco has an established name and brand with a proven track record delivering music and entertainment to the masses. In 2015, Marco was an official judge on the panel for So You Think You Can Dance in Portugal. And now he is pursuing a new role as an actor. Marco has been cast as a firefighter on Station 19 on ABC alongside Kerry Washington. And he just finished shooting a cameo with a live comedy audience on CBS. Whether he is dancing, DJing, or acting, Marco da Silva is an entertainer. What's up, world? It's episode 12 of the Remix Your World podcast, and today I'm talking to Marco da Silva. So you think you can dance? So you think you can DJ? So you think you can act? So Marco da Silva can, and he actually does. I love our conversation because where we find a lot of commonality in our attitude about success and going towards our visions and not being afraid to take risks on new visions. And so I really appreciated hearing him talk about this, how he's navigated all these different areas in his creative life and has managed to do it all very successfully. One thing that really stood out for me in our conversation where we really connect on is that it's not about the success, but it's about the feeling. And that is something that I talk a lot about in my CIJ class, about really grounding and connecting to your values and what kind of life you're trying to live by what kind of feeling and experience you're wanting to have. And it felt so good to hear Marco talk about this from his life as a dancer, as a DJ, and now as an actor. So I really appreciated hearing him say that because this is something that I really believe deeply in my core. So without further ado, let's jump into my conversation with Marco.
Yo, check this out.
Hi.
Hi, man. I'm so excited because, obviously I know what it is, and I've seen your posts and I've seen your commitment. And in the world of saturation, it's not easy.
Yeah.
With everything.
Yeah.
With everything. It doesn't matter with what.
Yeah.
We're so saturated, and it's so hard to stand out, to keep afloat, and to not give up.
Yes.
On new projects, on actually going through with it, and not look at the 7 reasons it could fail.
Right.
Yeah, but it's so easy.
Reasons.
Yeah, but but that's why so many people are stuck.
Yeah,
because they're so scared of the unknown.
Yeah, no, I know, and which is the whole such a big reason of why I started Remix Your World is just because of that whole thing of like I remember my own stuckness and my own loop, and my own darkness, and all of that of like, fuck, there's another way. There is a whole different way that we can do.
Yeah, you just gotta educate yourself to do that and get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah. Stretch yourself is like
literally. Otherwise we have back problems.
Yeah. But I mean, so you've been, like we've had chats, on Messenger about books and about personal growth, and I've followed you, and like, it's all we've had that connection as well as music. And I wanted to have you on because we share a lot of those same thoughts, just like we were just saying, and values, and like been very successful in many different areas. So, I want to highlight a lot of that for this show, like in moments of triumph, like it couldn't have always been easy for you, so like,
no,
I just want to have a real talk conversation. That's it.
I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
Awesome. So
because I love to have those conversations, but I'm always like, should I do an Instagram live? I find that the most weirdest thing. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I see everyone doing it, and I'm like, I have so much to say and so much to share, and I'm like, but who really wants to hear that? And I'm like, ugh, and people will just, and here we go, being in our heads.
Yeah, that's in the head.
Like, you're like self-absorbing and want to make everything about you, and who cares? And I'm like, I don't know. It's random. Yeah. We think too much.
We do. And those thoughts that stop us from everything. They're gremlins.
They are. Oh, gremlins.
That's what I call them in CIG.
Don't give away our age.
We call them gremlins in CIG.
We call them gremlins. Don't put water on them.
So speak about age, when you were young, when did you know? I mean, so music, you must have fallen in love with music first in order to make you want to dance, right? Like, so as a kid, I would imagine, because like.
I come from a musical background. Okay. My family, they're far from professionals, but, my parents were immigrants, Portuguese in Germany. So you stick to your community. And my mom and dad sing.
Nice.
They were pretty good, but this is in the 80s. There's none, that they sing for themselves and for the 5 people that want to hear it in the community. And so I grew up with them singing, and they also they were also singing in a Portuguese folklore group.
Oh, wow.
So I was put into, that's my first introduction to dance, because I danced for 10 years competitive Portuguese folklore. Now, to the average person, that means nothing, because it's, I mean, listen, I can't even describe the style of a dance, but basically the choreography goes by region of the country.
Okay.
And dress, and then I would say a team would be 20 people, and every person has a different outfit from the region of that country. Like whether it's a fisherman, whether it's we live by the coast, so I grew up with that. So that was my introduction to A, music, and B, dancing. And competition. Yeah. Because we were very competitive with all the different cities in Germany, with the Portuguese communities. So we would travel with nightliner buses and get trophies and all of that. So I did that till I was probably from age of 5. I started very early with that. Wow. And till I was like 12.
Now, did you want to do that, or was that something that your parents were like, I mean, how did you know, like, oh, this is cool, I want to do it?
Because everybody wanted to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Because that was the thing to do.
Right.
It's like, if you want to be important, you are in that group. You dance and you sing, whether it's a background choir or a dancer. So I wanted to do it because my older sister, she was doing it. So of course I look up to her. I have a very, very intensely strong bond with her. So I've always wanted to be there. So that's how it all started. And then when I was 12, I discovered Michael Jackson.
Like,
there he goes. Who's this fool? who's this fool twirling around? So, yeah, and then, you know, I discovered Michael and hip-hop and the urban music because I grew up really with urban music and an urban community. So my love for dancing and choreography built it. Like, I wanted to dance like Janet Jackson's dancers. It was never about the artist. It was always about the dancers. Wow. I was obsessed with the dancers. Oh, I liked the artists, but it was always, I knew everything about the dancers, where they come from, what they do, like, so, and back in the days, it was not that easy.
Right.
To find that. So that's how I got introduced into that world, and I just didn't know better. I didn't even want to know better. That was my fault.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to be a dancer before I wanted to be a DJ. Not my calling. I mean, I was a good dancer. I was good, but I could never, like, you know.
No, that's because you didn't train.
It wasn't right. It wasn't like, because it was what I wanted until I touched a turntable, and then it all shifted. It was like the thing that got me to the booth, right?
And at the end of the day, it's the same. It's this, you know, it's the same thing. You work with music.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't work as physically as a dancer, but it's the entertainment world. It's the same thing. You're staying on a stage, different adrenaline, different purpose, but the same feeling overall. Mm-hmm. And I can say that because I stand on both sides. I stood on both sides. So for me, that's why years later, see, I'm the opposite. I always liked the DJ thing because my best friend was a DJ. Mm. And I was always intrigued by it. I bought myself vinyl players, the Technic. I had them all, but then I was like, I don't understand it. I don't want to study it. The passion was not there yet because I was so focused on dancing. Mm-hmm. So I thought that this is my calling, but it wasn't. It was the dancing. I went back to it, and yes, it all worked out beautifully, but it's funny. We had exactly the opposite trend.
Yeah. That's awesome. So do you remember your first big, like, rejection as a dancer, and then your first, like, fuck, I got it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, you know, I was very, very, I had a lot of self-esteem issues due to childhood, due to the fact that now it pays off. I always looked 8 years younger than I was.
Okay.
So when you're a teenager, that breaks you. Because when you're 16 and you look like 10, 11, you don't belong nowhere. You just don't belong nowhere because I couldn't hang out with the people my age. They didn't want to hang out with me because I'm not cool enough. I was a skinny little kid. So I was just not cool. My parents, I didn't have to put clothes on. My parents didn't have money for that. So I was really this lost little soldier trying to fit in somewhere. So with that being said, it carried on mentally into my dance career.
Yeah.
So I would always put myself down, no matter how successful. From the third point of view, I always put myself down because my mind was so trained.
Yeah.
I was so used to it and so trained to just never be enough. You're not enough. It's just not. You're not as good as the person next to you. So I was on tour. This goes in Germany. I first had a career in Germany as a dancer. It almost happened overnight. Like it was crazy. So I was on tour with on a promo tour with the biggest girl group back in the days in Germany. They were humongous. And but they were about to go on their first tour, national tour. And that was for me my biggest dream because I looked up all these Janet tours, Michael tours, all these amazing tours. And I was let go. I was let go right before the tour.
Got it.
So, and when you're that close, and this was like my ultimate, that close, and it was not enough again.
Right.
It really, really broke me into 1,000 pieces because I just didn't know anymore what to do. I didn't know anymore what is enough. Like when I'm working on my technique morning till night, I'm educating myself. I know about dance history. I know about the greats Fred Astaire's and Dean Martin's, and like, I just didn't know how to approach it no more. Like, so that was really, really tough. And I stopped dancing for probably like 2 years.
Wow.
Because I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe in the system or in the right, in if that's my right calling, if I should just not do it. Because I just felt like I'm good enough to fill the blank space when needed. Yeah. But the blank space didn't need me. You know, so that was tough. And then I picked myself up and I said, I got to give it a shot. I did everything in Germany. I took all my money and, which wasn't a lot, and went to London I just wanted to see if there maybe I would have a chance, because the training is better, the training is harder. I wanted to dive in again and train that much harder. Maybe that's what I needed. Maybe the school in Germany was not enough to grow. Maybe I was stuck. So I took the chance. I went to London on a Thursday night. Now it's just so funny, but I literally took a model book. You know how models go to their agencies with their pictures? That's how I put all my pictures in there, as if I was a model. Like, all my pictures in there and my resume, and walk through London, Mr. Important, with this stupid book. And I go into this agency that I've heard of, and I just wanted to get a feedback. I just wanted to have a little bit of a good feeling that they say, hey, wait, look, come back, or whatever it is. Right. So I went in there. Obviously, she takes the book. She's like, okay. I mean, look at this random thing. Normally you get a headshot and a resume, and that's about it, right? So she looked at all the pictures, all great. And then she sees my resume, which was really big, but it was all German. It was all German pop bands and music videos, so it didn't mean anything to her. So she said, hey, listen, I see you work. It doesn't mean anything to me, so we don't know what the quality is that you have. We don't have openings. We're not looking for new people on the board right now. So I can tell you that, you know, you have a great look for you going, and when we have an open audition for the agency, we'll let you know. I'm like, yeah, I live in Germany. And she was like, well,
right.
Nothing we can do. That's your battle. That's not our battle, you know?
How bad do you want it?
Yeah, exactly. But I left with somewhat happy, you know. She's like, they want to invite me. It's fine. It's London. I mean, it was the portal for me to work international. And I tell her that I stayed till Sunday morning. Sunday morning, my flight would go back. So on Saturday night, I get a phone call on my German phone, and it's the agency. And she was like, hey, so I just wanted to let you know that there is an agency call tomorrow for a world tour of Kylie Minogue. And so, I mean, I just felt bad that you flew all the way from Germany and there was no success for you. But you can mention our name. You can go to the audition, have a feel, see how the pace is in London, how fast it goes, the competition. So you go home and you learn something and you know what you have to prepare yourself for. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm like so nervous. I mean, you know, it's Kylie Minogue. I've never done anything other than a German artist and a world tour, and I'm like daydreaming, and like it was amazing. Anyway, so I go to the audition, and it was 600 people there, and it was very overwhelming. And to cut the story short, this was 9:00 in the morning. There was 3 different choreographers with. We had to learn 3 different combos, every style. Mind yourself, styles that I've never touched. Because I was a hip hop dancer. I never done contemporary. I'm not a technical stretch dancer that has like, I don't know. So I just faked myself through it. That's all you got to do.
That's it. Fake it till you make it, baby.
Fake it till you make it. And it was a cut after cut after cut. My nerves were, and I kept staying, and then there was 30 boys left. And I was a nervous wreck because I was scared. because I didn't know what else to come. I was just scared. And this is already 7 p.m. So we're talking already like 14 hours.
Wow.
14 hours of waiting, dancing, re-dancing, relearning, doing. And it's like a never-ending story. Well, the story ended at 11:33. I looked at the watch, 11:33, and I booked the job.
Wow.
So I will never forget that moment. I will never forget, not even the moment, but it was such a big lesson taught to me that we get so caught up in, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Why would they? They will never. I'm not going to spend all this money to fly there too.
Right.
If I wouldn't have done exactly that journey, I would have never had the career that I have, because it all started with that job.
Right.
It all started with Kylie, because at the end of the day, I was on tour with her for 5 years.
Wow.
I stayed in that camp for 5 years. We did 4 world tours. I grew immensely as a dancer. I was thrown in the cold water. It was tough.
Yeah.
All that self-doubt came back, because all of a sudden I was surrounded by dancers that worked with Beyonce, worked with Elton John, and worked with Ricky Martin. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like soaking it all in to not look like an idiot, you know? So all these things from the past came back up. You're not enough, you're not enough. But why you're not enough? You booked it.
Yeah.
You didn't slap your way up. You booked it. You danced, you booked. And so you gotta also like shut your own mouth.
Yeah.
And your own thoughts, you know? So that was the biggest moment for me. Hearing that, she was in the room, because she came for the last hour to just confirm and just see that she likes what she sees. And yeah, man, that's how it all started. Yeah, that's how it all started.
That is amazing. So who were the biggest like supporters for you then in your life? You know, were your family were always pushing you? Who were probably the most helpful for you in those times?
I really don't want to sound negative.
Oh, it's okay.
But it was me.
Yeah.
It was me and my parents supported me passively, because they didn't know better. They never were against it, but they also didn't think dancing is a job.
Yeah.
Again, they would never think that I would make it this far and this quality and this high with all these artists that I've worked with. So for them, it was like, really, son, really, that's what you're going to do? It's like, and then my mom thinks go-go dancing, nightclub, drugs, party, you know, because they don't know better.
Right.
So they were never against me, but they were also not supporting me for that. And I was a rebel all my life. What I wanted, I've done it, and I made it, the good and the bad. You know, far from being an angel, but I basically really became best friends with myself. Yeah. I'm really in good touch with myself now. I enjoy time with myself. I go by myself on vacations. I love having people around, but I'm not dependent on that. Right. Many people are so dependent. They need to be. They feel lonely and they get in their heads. And I'm happy that they are aware of that, because loneliness is a very big problem. Yeah. You know. So I didn't have that, thank God. So I always push myself.
Did you make, I'm assuming you make lifelong friends with these people you're on tour with for that many years. I mean, do a lot of them, since you did so many tours, did a lot of them also continue? Or was it with each tour, there was a little breakup and then a new member kind of?
It happens. I mean, with Kylie, we pretty much, I think every tour had between 12 and 16 cast members. I think 5 till 6 were the usual suspects, because it just became a family, and we were very professional and understanding, and not especially in the US, there's unions, SAG, and, there's rules and regulations. In Europe, you don't have it. So you have to have also compassion for the job,
Right.
and not just think money, 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 rule, 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 because it will not, they don't want to work with you again, because sometimes life is just not that.
Yeah.
I remember opening night of that tour. What? Opening night was in Paris. No. 2 tours later, X tour. Opening night was in Paris. It was a 3-hour show. Wow. So long. And she wanted to do it like a musical theater, so there was an interval in between, a 20 minutes interval. So anyways, the stage was an LED screen. So her stage had to be raked. So it wasn't an incline. That already was such a challenge for us to dance 3 hours on the incline. So what happens the night before, we're doing tech run, literally the night before, we're doing tech run at 6 p.m. So the riggers rigged the stage wrong. So the lifts go down, we go on, the lifts go up, but the lifts were not aligned and completely broke the whole stage. Bended the whole stage, the LEDs all cracked.
Oh my God.
It's 6 p.m.
And this is live with an audience?
No, this is tech run. This is the night before. This is the last tech run to make sure everything is good for opening night. Yeah.
What?
They had to fly in. The pieces were not arriving in the next 2 days. Everything was broken. So we had to rearrange a 3-hour show overnight because the lifts are not working. The props need to be now pushed on stage, pushed off stage. Everything was just a disaster. So we literally rehearsed till 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. We were the whole night brain fried, terrified, because it's 3 hours of show. It was too much. We had all that like sticky notes on our dressing rooms so that we can just remind us for every single. But meanwhile, we have quick changes of 40 seconds. No, it was brutal. It was brutal. So you can't. You gotta be focused on the job, and you can nag and.
Yeah, that's like
overtime.
You handle it. You got to deal with it.
And that's why we stay, because we just roll. It's just a family. We roll with it. Yeah, we hit till 9. We hit till 9. Whatever.
Right.
So that's how you stay on jobs. It's like, don't make it always just about you. It's not. Be grateful that you are on the job. How about that?
Yeah. Gratitude. So after Kylie, then what happened? Walk us through that.
So I was in London for 5 years, and Kylie had worked with American choreographers. Some of our dancers even were from the U.S. So with that, here I am 5 years later. I know the whole industry, and I've worked with exactly those dancers I used to look up to. They're now choreographers. I've worked with it. So I thought, okay, I'm not a big fan of London. To live. It's just not my city. It's just the quality of life for me. It's not there. I need sun.
Right.
That's just for me. So I was asked if I want to go on tour with Brittany. Simple as that. I was asked. I'm sober for the past 18 years. Amazing. So this tour, they wanted to make sure that all the dancers are sober. It had to be for her child custody reasons, and they just didn't want no problems on this tour. It needs to be as clean as possible. No nothing. So I'm always known for the sober guy on tour, because everybody goes party. I go green tea and to bed.
Right.
Everyone is going out and wasted, and then I'm full of energy in rehearsals, and everyone is dying.
This is spirits, you and I.
Days of my life. And, it was simple as that. Hey, would you be interested to go on tour with Brittany? And that's a text message. I'm like, huh? It's like, what? It's so surreal. Right. So Yeah, so I came to LA, got sponsored by the agency of the choreographer. And I thought I'd come for a year. I mean, I've been here 9 years now, and had a beautiful career here too. And it all, I took a risk. I just took a risk again and be like, okay, I'll pack my bags and go to the other side of the world, into the land of unknown, because I didn't know a single soul here.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I did afterwards. And then it just kept rolling with like artists and name drops and that. So I was very, very blessed to the way my career went. I wouldn't want it any different.
Mm. And so then what called you to the DJ booth?
So when I was 16, my best friend was a DJ. He was a hip hop DJ. And I always was fascinated by it.
Yeah.
I always was fascinated by DJs. It's just so cool. Back in the day, DJs were not rock stars. Now they're rock stars. But back in the days, it wasn't that. It was just really like conveying a feeling onto the dance floor. And I was just in the hip hop community. When I came out as gay, that's when I was introduced into the gay world / house music.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know Four on the Floor. I was always hip. So all of a sudden I was like, this is a whole new world, and so positive. No fights and no negativity, no bitching around in lyrics. And so and then people alike. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is so cool. So I really got, and this was like early 90s. Like, the house music was really good.
Yeah.
So that's where I found the love for electronic music.
Yeah.
I was always a techno kid. I went really fast into this whole, I lived in Berlin. Who would not?
How can you be in Germany and not be a techno kid?
How? It doesn't work.
You can't.
So, right, I had my years of raving and wearing pathetic clothes.
Some Jinkos,
I had green eyebrows, bad devil horns. I had it all.
Yeah.
So when I moved here, I was like, this was 10 years ago. I sat down and said, okay, this is great. You're very successful. So what about tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be dancing all your life. I am not a choreographer by heart. I'm not a teacher by heart. It doesn't come natural to me. So that was not an option. So I'm like, I should look into the DJ. I was like, it's the most natural for me because I love music. I have knowledge of music. Mm-hmm. I don't have technical knowledge of it, but I understand music since I've worked with it. I know bars and I understand it all. Right. So why not? So I asked Phil Romano. Phil Romano was, back in the days, a very good friend of mine. I mean, still is, but this was back in the days we were really close. And he literally taught me the 1, 2, 3, the buttons, in Italy and Rome in his house. And this was before I moved. This was like the first year of Circuit Festival, and like 2008, I think it was the first year. So, and immediately I understood it. Immediately I was able to beat match, and I was like, wait, what? Okay, this is interesting. And then when I moved here, I met the great late Peter.
Yeah. And
Peter saw potential. Peter was the one that kickstarted everything for me, that offered me a job. My very first paid gig was opening for Peter, which was terrifying.
I mean, and that's literally, you're probably the only person in the universe. Like, that's crazy.
I was terrified. I was so in Miami at Winter Party. It was just me and Peter. So not even I'm opening for an empty room. I had to carry that room till he comes on, which means packed house.
Right.
I was terrified. I told him, I was like, I don't know why you're doing this to me. Why? This is not. He's like, I'm leaving you. You have taste. I heard you because I was at the house.
Right.
Do my thing. So yeah, I did it, and it all went beautifully well. It was amazing, and so he carried on just teaching me and showing me and mentoring me and giving me all these lessons. And I was with him in the studio when he would be creating his beats, and that man never slept.
Right.
That man never slept. I mean, I literally had to tuck him in bed and be like, "You gotta go to sleep. It is 5 o'clock."
Right. Enough time.
And enough. And you need to eat something other than a toast. Like, took him, like, whenever I stayed in New York, I stayed with him, and we would go to dining at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm dying. I'm sleeping. My ass is in bed by 11.
Right.
And I have to carry him to the dining because he wouldn't eat. He was so focused on his gigs and preparations. But that's why he was who he was.
Right.
You know, I mean, there was just that. But stuff doesn't come from partying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how it all started, and it was, you know, and I came from a very different musical genre, so I didn't know what circuit music was.
Right.
It wasn't familiar to me that much, especially U.S. circuit music was so different from was. Now it's all a blend.
Yeah.
But back in the days, U.S. circuit music was very different from European circuit music.
Right.
Very distinctive, very different. Now it's not anymore. Now it's all one sauce, I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it all started with the DJing, and I was just in the best hands. So it just made sense. It just made sense, and then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the technique aspect. So not just, I was always bored. And again, luxury, whenever I played, I had 4 decks.
Right. Yeah.
Have that if your name is not Peter Rockover. Very rarely, 3 now is finally a good.
Oh, yeah.
3 is good. Very rarely, back in the days, you would have 4. You know, and Peter always had 4 because he had samples and his loops.
Yeah.
But so I really watched him and learned and adapted. And so I love to play with 4 decks.
Yeah.
3 decks, the minimum. Just to like create in that moment and just think outside the box and not just play an iTunes playlist.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be creative. You got to remix your world.
Oh, yes, you do. I know. I remember there was one time I played in Houston and I had 5 decks.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, 4 of them were what came with it. And I used to always bring my 5th because I had a sampler.
Nice.
So like at that point I was like, oh, this is amazing. So it was just like, it's just the unlimited amount of creativity that you can. And then like showed up at places where they have 2. I'm like, that is not in my contract. What do you want me to do with 2? What exactly do you want me to do with 2?
The discussions I had with 2, and probably one of them was like an old model of 400. Of 400. I'm like, what?
I'm like, if you realize that if one goes out, we're all screwed, right? Like we're all screwed if one goes out.
I remember when I played in Montreal very, very early, first year. And I played in Montreal, I think it was called Unity. I think it called Unity.
What was it called?
Unity?
Unity. Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, I think that was what it was called. That's where I played too. Was it Unity or something like that? Yeah.
Entrance.
Yes, yeah.
Like, way back, like this is 2008 or 9. So they took me to stereo because Hector Romero was playing.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah, dope, yeah, house music. I go to the booth. That guy played with. He had 8 players, 8 Cock style, 8, and all of them were running. All of them were running. Some of them were down, but he was going mental, and then I did not understand. I just didn't understand that mind. I mean, 4, and I'm already like busy. 8. So, but it's so great and so amazing. But then also, you know, I sometimes wished that I wouldn't have be thrown in that cold water so immensely because I didn't it took me a while. I didn't have the chance to read dance floors.
Okay. And find your own
and find my own environment and sound to play different kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of opening set, is to really just play music that you would never play, because you can. It's not that vibe yet, you know? So I never had that. And I remember Peter, oh my God. Peter booked me to play with him at Splash when it was still open. And Splash had the old rain.
Okay, yeah.
I've only been a DJ physically for 10 years. So, and I never had the ability to play with them. So that's a whole different technique. It's very sensitive. So I'm freaking the F out. I'm calling Peter. I was like, Peter, what is this? He's like, yeah, you can do it. I'm like, okay. I was like, are you coming soon? He was like, yeah, I'll be there in a little bit. I'm like, no, can you come now? Like, it's freaking me out. Anyways, I'm playing with it, and I'm just sweating all over out of nerves because it was such a different sensation, you know? So, and sometimes I wish I wouldn't be thrown in all of this so fast. But then sometimes that's the way to learn.
Right, and that was the journey. That's what's brought you.
Absolutely. And now you can throw, Lord, you can just throw shit at me. I mean...
So then it shifted. Then that's when like the whole "So You Think You Can Dance" came after the DJing, or when did that?
No, it was always simultaneously, because it was more like the retiring of the dancing.
Mm-hmm.
But then, by that time, I took advantage of the situation. So when I was on tour with Kylie, I was like, okay, hang on. So I'm touring with the biggest world artist.
Yeah.
I have a look going. I want to squeeze this out because this might be done tomorrow. So I literally approached gay magazines, Attitude, Instinct, all these high glossy. And I wrote them an email and said, hey, listen, this is me. Here's a couple of pictures. I'm on tour with Kylie Minogue right now, so it's a hot topic. Why don't you guys do like a spread? Because I wanted to brand my name.
Right.
And for me, that was the most logical to do. So they all jumped on the train right away. So I had all these spreads. I had covers of those magazines. I've been on 7 covers. And so I created myself a brand.
Yeah. Which
then was automatically with the dancing and production companies, when they look you up and they put your name on Google and there's so much you've done with magazines, they'll be like, okay, great. Yeah. So You Think You Can Dance was in Portugal. So they wanted someone that is successful abroad, but is Portuguese.
Right.
And there is nothing. In the dancing, there isn't. So that's how they approached me through Facebook. I got a Facebook message. Facebook is now their best agent. Yeah. I literally got a Facebook message on the artist page and they were saying, hey, listen, we heard about you, we would love you to come and screen test for us. So they flew me to Portugal. I was living in LA already. And it all worked out beautifully. It was unfortunately just one season because the show didn't do well in Portugal, because in Portugal is a country they need celebrities to dance. So Dancing with the Stars went really well. So you think, same with Germany. So You Think You Can Dance, I was a guest judge in Germany. It only lasted for 1 season.
Wow.
So because the dance education is not strong. But make myself a name, which then helped again getting bookings as a DJ, because I was just a hot topic right now, being on TV and everything. But that's how I got my TV gigs. And in Germany, I did, then all of a sudden I was like a D celebrity doing like game shows, celebrity game shows and stuff. But I wanted to just take everything in, because when would I ever do that again? Why not? You know? Why not? Like, just live your moment and live your life, and I can just say, yeah, I've done that game show. I've been on a judge on that show, So that's how my So You Think You Can Dance came along.
That's amazing. And so then where do you find, so like, you talked about you've had to go through this each time, of like getting better at your own personal development over, I do deserve this. I can do this. I can be a judge. I can dance. I can DJ, all of that. What do you think some of the most valuable practices, rituals, I don't know, spiritual teachings, anything that actually just feels like has been a good fuel for you to continue to keep growing in that?
I mean, listen, I think we all always need to sit down and look at what we have and not what we don't have. And look what we achieved and not what we haven't achieved. Because we're making our life we judge our life by what we have not achieved yet.
Yeah.
But instead to sit down and be like, okay, I was born in a small little village in Germany with a little dream. And then years later, I have toured. I did 7 world tours. I was on TV. I played in the biggest venues as a DJ. I've looked at all that and I was like, okay, so something I've done right. Yeah. Like, it's enough. It's something I've done right. And that was my motivation to just keep going and going because I know what I want, I will get.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah. At
this point, I retrained my mind and my brain.
Yeah.
That I have so much confidence in I'm going to get it. I don't know when. It doesn't matter when I get it.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to get there. I'm going to get, and also keep your wishes and keep it, reasonable.
Yeah.
Like people want $1 million. Really? And then what? You're still unhappy.
Right. Yeah. And it's usually, it's never, that's a thing that I've noticed so much with my students and even private clients of where it's never the actual thing. There's a value or a feeling that is attached to that you're actually seeking.
And you speaking out of my mind. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
I always said for me, it was never chasing the names as a dancer. I wanted to chase that feeling. I wanted to know how does it feel on opening night in an arena of 20,000 people and the lights go out. And that moment where everyone knows the show's done. How does it feel to be on stage and being ready and you know the curtain's going to drop in 2 seconds? Like that feeling, I wanted to know. I didn't care with whom. Carrie Underwood, I don't care.
Right.
I happen to have amazing artists to work with, but I wanted that feeling. I wanted to feel, how does it feel as a DJ building your own build-up, not a produced build-up, doing your own build-up and having people respond to it and people having their hands up in the air and just waiting for the drop. Yeah. How does it feel? That moment. And it was never, and I didn't care if it was a little warehouse or if it was a Cameo in Miami. Didn't matter. I just wanted to know that feeling. So yeah. And when you have that approach, you have a healthy approach to it.
Yeah.
You really have a healthy approach to it and a reasonable approach to it. And again, a lot of people don't put the work into it. They don't put the work into it. I get up every single morning at 6 o'clock. It don't matter what I have on the schedule. It don't matter. I don't sleep longer. Because nothing is be done when you're sleeping. Nothing happens after 10 p.m.
Yeah. Nothing.
A waste of time. So I go to bed at 11 because the day is done. There's nothing to approach. So I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I get my day going. But those 3 hours that I wake up early, that's a lot of 3 hours that a lot of stuff can be done.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff can happen, So it's all self-discipline.
Yeah. And ritual.
Write things down.
Yeah.
Write your to-do list. Write them down. Because in the beginning, I was like, I don't get stuff done, and it's so weird. But then I started to write everything, the littlest thing.
Yeah.
Get water. Buy water. Bring the trash out. All of that every day. And I just tick it off. At the end of the day, I look at it, I was like, whoa, oh shit, I actually did quite a lot.
Yeah. I love me some ticking off.
Oh.
Actually, my favorite is so I'm a big fan of the cross. I cross the whole thing out. Look, see?
Yeah.
I have this thing right here, and I love this moment. Y'all can't see, but I'm showing him. I love that moment when I can just cross that off right there.
Absolutely. It's just brutal. It's like, and done.
Done.
Yeah. But I have not done that. I started that, I want to say recently. So probably like 3-4 months. And it really helped me. It really helped me to be in a different state of mind because I always thought like the day is done. I did nothing. No, you actually accomplished quite
actually got
maybe you did nothing because there was no aha effect or there was no job coming from the 7 ticks that you did. So it felt like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But you do stuff. It's just all about the ritual, like you said.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of So what do you think, has been, you talk about like that knowing and just continuing to keep pushing that ritual. What do you feel, will you even share, like, what do you want next for you? What do you want the next 5 years, 10 years, 15? What do you see for yourself?
Let me put this without it being about a career or a job. Obviously, I'm transitioning, not into a female. I'm because that's a new word, right?
Life transitions.
I'm transitioning. Hold on. No, I'm not transitioning that way. Funny story I have to say. Tell you about that. Hilarious story. Anyways, so the dancing is my past. I dance. I go and take classes. I still love it because I want to stay in shape and I miss the dancing. I don't go for jobs out anymore. If I would get a direct booking, I would do it. I don't audition.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that I wanted to do it, and everybody should do it. If you decide when you start your career, you should decide when you stop the career.
Yes.
Because that is the most healthiest thing you can do.
Yes.
So
you preach it. I get it.
Preach it. So don't let the career stop you. Because then you will just get in that funky little rabbit hole where you look for 1,000 reasons that half of them are legit.
Right.
Because it is what it is. Physically, you'll age. Mentally, you'll age. Things get... So that's what I said. I was like, I'm going to leave at my peak.
Yep.
At the peak where I'm still having all the jobs, I'll be like, no, guys, I'm done. Because then I'm in control of it.
Yeah.
So now, 4 years later, I don't cry myself a river. My last job was Christina Aguilera. Can't be any better.
Right.
And I'm good with that. So I was in control. Instead of you too old, you too gray bearded, you too this, you too big, you too much tattoos. There's 1,000 reasons.
Yeah.
So my next journey, the journey that I'm in for the past 3 years, is the acting.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm on my next thing. I was like, okay, the DJing you can do for a lot of years.
Yep.
But do you want to be certain DJs that are just outdated and don't grow anymore because they're stuck in their sound from their years? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. And also nightlife, I don't want to.
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. I don't want to be 60 and behind the decks. I can do that on a day party, a little rooftop, play some classics, but do I want to be in an after hour playing? No.
Yep.
So the acting was for me the next logical step. I live in Hollywood. I'm very confident in talking, speaking, in front of the camera. And so that's my next calling. Is it a crazy journey? Yes. Do I have to start from zero? Absolutely. I took 3 years of studying. 3 years of not allowing myself to audition, to get an agent or anything, because I'm like, I don't want to ruin relationships or possibilities or anything. I don't want to be doing those. I don't want to be that DJ that says, oh, I've been DJ for years, and then you train whacking every second track because your ego was bigger than the actual truth, And then you screw up your reputation, your network. So everything is screwed up because that's what people will have in mind.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. So I've been studying for the past 3 years, and I allowed myself last October to find an agent and be ready for this year's pilot season. Pilot season is always the first 3 months of the year. And it's very humbling. It's very humbling because financially I'm not stable anymore as I was.
Right.
Due to the dancing and
yeah.
So, and then that costs money, the classes, everything is self-taught. So I'm good with rejection when it comes to that because I've trained myself on rejection and auditions. Yeah, that's totally fine. I have a different approach to that. But that's my new calling. That's my new I will always DJ. I mean, that's something that it's just so embedded with me now. Music production. I have a very wide range of music genres.
Yeah.
So I don't stick to one music genre. So unfortunately, not all of those genres I don't have the client to play to. But then you just do it at home. I'll just get out of the system in my living room and pretend I'm in a Disney club. Hey, it works. It works for my own sanity. It works.
I get it. I totally get it.
So the DJing is my main focus right now, and then my new journey is the album, and it's going.
Didn't you just book something?
I booked my third network show this year.
All right, what is it?
So I'm actually shooting on Thursday. I booked. It's a new sitcom, multicam, live audience. So it's a style of like Will Grace and Friend and all of that. And it's called Happy Together, and it's produced by the Wayans brothers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Damon and Mara Wayans. Yeah, one of them is in there. I booked the co-star, which is co-star is the smallest roles in a play. So there's co-star, and then it goes to guest star. Guest star probably has 2 pages of script. Then you go to supporting and feature and all that. And, I booked my third co-star. I did Station 19 on ABC 2 months ago. I was a firefighter. So I had my 4 lines. And it's, listen, and I'm so grateful that this is going this way. That I'm not booking like a major lead because I would be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
I don't have the knowledge for that. So this time I was really focused on learning from the past.
Yeah.
The jump into cold waters. I'm learning from that. So I told my agent, I was like, hey, don't send me out for leads. Don't send me out for supports. I really want to be a co-star and a guest star. I want to dive into that, learn my place, learn my terminology on set. It's a whole different thing. I want that. I have no ego. There's no time pressure. I can be an actor at 80. But I want to make sure that, because I'm in a room with great actors. I'm with professional people. So I don't want to act like a fool. So, and this goes in every job. Take your time.
Yeah.
Know your place.
Yeah.
Know your place. It's respect the craft.
Yeah, I think that we're in a time now where people are just not respecting the craft. They just want to get straight to the top, straight to the thing.
Because it's too easy.
Right.
Because it's that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in the LGBT community where all it really takes is taking the shirt off. And I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that myself. But when I realized, I completely stop it. I don't take my shirt off when I DJ, ever. You don't see that. I always have to argue with...
Me either, but, Me neither, but, I don't know. I think the boys are happy that I don't take my shirt off.
But there's a bunch of girls...
When I get my chest done, then I'm going to take my shirt off, okay?
But wait, but what about lesbian parties? Is it that the female DJs take their shirts off? And you're
I don't play lesbian parties. I couldn't begin to tell you. I can count in 27 years on this earth as a DJ. I can count on one hand how many lesbian parties I've done.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
So much for that. So yeah, it's that easy these days to become hot for the moment. Mm-hmm. So don't settle yourself down. Why you want to be hot for the moment? Why don't you want to be relevant for a longer period of time?
Yes.
And not just hot for the moment. And that's how I approach my next step is know your place. And it's funny enough, at the job that I was, we had a 2-hour window of lunch and whatnot. And I was in a room with Kerry Washington. because she was the producer of the first drum album. And I'm talking with her, and because I know my history at acting now, I could talk with her about the different techniques, Stella Adler, Stanislavski, and on and on and on, the theater group. And she, at some point, she was like, wow, you really know a lot for the fact that you're just starting. And I was like, well, and that's exactly what I want. Is read a lot, know a lot, so that when you're in a room with good people and with great people, you don't feel amateur, you don't sound amateur.
Right. Yeah, it's you do your homework.
You need to do your homework. Yeah. It's the same with the DJ. You ask the DJ who's David Morales, and they'll be like, huh? oh my God, it's a sample from Louis Vega. Who? Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't matter if you started yesterday.
Yeah.
Just know a little bit. You will be that much more respected.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love that you're doing it this way. I have so much more even respect for you in that. I think that's inspirational, and I just love it because it's like quality over quantity.
Oh, all day long.
Everything in life, quality over quantity.
Yeah, because and now think of it. You're a female. Mm-hmm. As much as a female DJ thinks they have disadvantages, you also have advantages because there is none. You guys are always, in our community, the fat guy. Like, but it's everyone wants to have you guys around, and it's all great, and there's no rules to put on that.
Yeah.
With us, males, there is then like, okay, you need to take your shirt off. Then if you don't go to the after hours Kiki, then there is no social network. So you all of a sudden like not the cool one. Yeah. And then there's so there's so much into the aspect when it becomes not a job anymore. It becomes like so much more.
That's so I've been grateful to say that anybody who has ever been a fan of mine has always been because of the music.
100. I have exactly the same. And I've had to make executive decisions.
Yeah.
I had to make them. And whoever is listening and follows me knows that I don't play a lot anymore. And that is because I do not want to sell my soul.
Yeah.
And my soul is music.
I feel you, baby.
So if I have, because a lot of people don't understand, it's not the 4 hours in the club. Mm-hmm. It's the 6 days at home.
Yeah.
That we need to listen to the music, prepare the music. And if it's music that you don't feel, you have to play because someone says it's the trend, then you're just a jukebox. And then you become unhappy. And that's what happened to me. I played the game, but I was not happy.
Yeah.
I was not happy. I was playing one top 40 remix after the next one. And yes, I have all these jobs, but I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And what do I want? Happiness or money?
Right.
And success and fame. And I want happiness. So I'd rather have those 5 gigs a year, and I know it's going to be a blast, and I'm playing what I want, and the room loves it, and the promoters are educated enough and let you creatively be free because the room is packed. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so you just, sometimes you got to go that route.
Yeah.
Tough.
I get it.
Tough because we sit at home on the weekends thinking, I want to be in a club right now. I really want to be in a club right now, working on playing these new tracks that I found. And you're not, So you tagged in events.
That you have to do it.
Right. In events that you don't go. Or like promote or this whole like exclusivity thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't understand the politics behind that. Why can't we just go?
Yeah. I have found though, since I have been transitioning and because I've been focusing on Remix Your World and saying no to gigs, that all these other music opportunities are showing up in a completely different area that is feeding me in ways that I never knew. Like, I curate music for this lounge in Chicago at the Peninsula. That's when I was there, when you were there.
Oh, yeah.
So I curate all the music from open to close, so I have to program all of those playlists. And that has fed me in a musical way that I didn't even know I needed. But had I not had been taking a step into saying no to the ones that were not bringing me joy and happiness,
close a door.
Right. This space wouldn't have opened. So it's like, I love hearing you say that, because it's like, that's 100% where I was too, and where I am, of like, no, I want to play the music that like really does it for me, and
it does it for me and speaks to me, because then you are an artist. Other than that, you are just a follower.
Yeah.
And play what's safe. But how about you not play what's safe and still get the same reward? Yeah. Now that's art, and that's talent.
Yeah.
Being different but still fitting in.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Take a risk. You don't have to sound like everybody else, for crying out loud.
But take a risk. It's all about that. Yeah. Because if you don't take the risk, you will never know better, or you'll never find out, or find yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Find yourself, because you don't know, because you think that you are this, because society tells you.
Yeah.
Friends tell you. Naysayers tell you.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not your calling.
Right.
Just try it out. Because one thing I know, and one day my life is over,
mm-hmm.
and I never, ever rest with the what if.
Right.
That's a word that doesn't exist for me. What if? Yeah, sure. What if? There's always things that you can't do tomorrow. I would have loved to dance for Michael. Yeah, well, he's dead. There's nothing I can do. Like that. It's not those things. But what if I move to LA?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. What if I do that? Like, oh no, it's not gonna happen. Don't do it. If it doesn't work out, go back.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when the same what if continues to come, you can answer it. You better answer.
You answer it. If that's what you think, do. Yeah, but I have a 9-to-5 job and it's safe. Great. You'll find another 9-to-5 job.
And side hustle.
You'll never find an answer to your what ifs. And what if it works out?
Right.
Imagine your life, the happiness you have, if it works out.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest advocate for that. Yeah. I went to London. What if? Well, I go.
Yeah. And
it all kickstart there. So that's the biggest thing I tell my friends. It's do your thing. And if it doesn't work out, go home. And if you start something new, accept the journey.
Yeah, and I'm going to do me, because this is the calling I got right now, and I'm going to
Exactly. And if it does, I can do a side hustle. I'm doing the DJ as a side hustle.
Yeah.
But I am focused on that. And mark my word, it will work out. Now, will I walk the red carpet on the Oscars? I don't care.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're into the feeling.
Into the feeling. I want to feel. I want to work. I don't care what I work. I can do independent movies on Sundance Festival. I would be as happy as doing a blockbuster in a movie theater. Mm. Because it's not about that. It's about the feeling.
Yeah. So. I love that. Awesome. Well, I've had such a good time talking to you. So if you could say one thing that you think this whole world or life or anything has been about, what do you think it all comes down to? One word.
Compassion.
Oh, I love that. That's sweet.
Compassion is what we all lack.
I love that.
But we all need more compassion.
Yeah.
We all need more compassion in this world. And less judgment. And today, I watch a lot of spiritual content.
Yeah.
I read, every morning I get up, and this is something that works for me for the past year, and I really, really encourage everyone to do it. The first half an hour of your day, let it be a book.
Mm-hmm.
Get up. Wake up half an hour earlier.
Yep.
Invest in it. Get up, make your coffee or your tea, sit on the couch, and read for half an hour. Something self-therapy. Yeah. Whatever it is. anything, I promise you, your day will start with knowledge.
Yeah.
And you accomplish something. And you will feel so good about yourself. And it worked for me beautifully because there's no text message, there's no social media, there's nothing interrupting me at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's just me, my coffee, my puppy, and the book.
Yeah.
And I'm really into that space of mind. I want to learn something. I want to rewire my brain, remixing my world. You know what I'm saying? So it's I really can recommend it to everybody. I started a year ago, and I get excited to get up. I get excited to get up just to have that me time. Yeah. I don't have the stillness to meditate. I just don't have it. I tried it so many times. I don't have it. It's just not my call. So I accepted it. I was like, I can't do it. But I need to find something else that centers me.
Right. It's just quiet time. Right.
Yeah, and this is quiet time because my phone is on silent. It's still, no one is on the streets, no traffic, no nothing. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. So I love it. I love it. And so I learned a lot. Another thing that I want to recommend everyone is follow Will Smith on Instagram.
Oh yeah, he's great.
That man,
he's still great.
That man has so much knowledge and so much greatness coming out of that mouth.
Yeah.
Profound stuff, like aha moments left and right. And it's so great from someone that you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
In first place, I would be like, oh, really? But so yeah, it's compassion. That would be my first go-to.
That's awesome. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you. I'm so glad.
Hello, Allison.
I love you.
The only thing missing is we gotta meet.
I know. Now we gotta meet.
We gotta do a big ass back to back.
Oh my God, yeah.
In the living room, it don't matter. Don't matter.
No matter.
It's the feeling, honey. It's the feeling.
It's the feeling. Seriously, I'm down to do a living room session.
Oh God. these days, Facebook Live it, and then we have the biggest audience that we ever have.
We'll do it at Blake Baker's living room. And do it in Blake's living room in Dallas.
Where do you live?
I live in Colorado. I'm outside of Denver.
Oh shit! I was in Denver once.
Yeah. You're still in LA though, right? Well, obviously.
I'm in LA.
I'm trying to think of I don't know when I'm going back, but when I do, I'll let you know. I'm actually going to, not to DJ, I'm going just to hang. So I'll let you.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Because, DJing, we all get so, we fly in, we fly out, and there's no time, and just like a hug in the booth, and that's about it.
No, I'm going to go for a couple of days, maybe even a week soon.
You should. You should. Love that. You have friends up here, right? I mean, yeah. Friends everywhere. She's so connected.
Friends there, yeah.
Friends everywhere.
Well, this is so good. Thank you so much. I love you.
For having me. Thanks for giving me a little platform, a little storytelling. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Keep doing your thing, Mama. Keep doing your thing. You're different, and you're different for a reason.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you've always been different. You've always, although I never heard you play, but I don't need to hear a DJ play to know that they are different for the right reasons, that they have knowledge. Obviously I hear great things about you and all your tracks. You don't understand that. Give it to me in layers.
Oh, yes.
It's still every day I'm like, every gig I play that gig. Every single gig I have to play that track.
I need to remaster it. I've gotten better at mastering by now, but I need to remaster.
No, but that track is just floats, ticks everything in me. Like it's ridiculous. I still play it. I love that track. Everything about it. So just do you, Mama.
I will.
There is no other you. There's tons of others.
Yep.
Pastors, But you're gonna get that. Remix your world. I love that. I love that you don't let the manifesto of naysayers bring you down, because it's frustrating, especially when you put so much work into it and maybe the outcome in the first 2 years was not that wow. You know, you look at numbers and be like, oh, like, what am I doing all this for, like, this couple of people? And, like, but it doesn't matter. Just repetition and consistency is that's where it's at. That's
when you know when you're committed to your why, you just keep pushing, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing was like, so what do I do to actually maybe be able to play my music that I so much love? The warehouse, Chicago, the techno, the underground, the non-vocals, the bass-driven music. Like, because my clientele is just not into that music. I mean, I don't want to shoot myself. And I also don't want to be a disrespectful DJ.
Right.
Alpha DJ, play what you want to play. And then,
yeah, you got to work the room.
No, you got to work the room, you know? So I created an alter ego. And I learned that from Peter.
Yeah.
Because Peter had his alter ego. I don't know if any people knew that, but he would call himself Vienna Sausage. DJ Vienna Sausage.
Yeah.
And he would play like underground stuff in New York.
Yeah.
For like all the club kids and all that. But he didn't want to call it Peter Raufer because then the stereotypical Peter Raufer followers would come and would be disappointed.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh, that makes sense. So I make research. I was like, wait, Maceo Plex goes by Matrix and plays techno.
Yeah.
So this is a common thing. So I was like, okay, so maybe I can so I can have actually a podcast series and just be liked for the music and not for the brand or my dance background or the looks or anything of that. So there is a niche and there's a way to satisfy your needs. So,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, because I created Omtronica out of that. You know, where I was like, I want to, because I love progressive house and trance. And so I did that. And I finally, it was just like, I'm just going to use this moniker for it, you know, and I have a whole album that I'm writing right now that is all under that alias. Because for that reason only, of like, this is the music I want to make. And I'm not going to do it as Alison Gladden. I'm going to do it as something.
Yeah. Because you did your brand as Alison Gladden, and that's great. And you don't want to confuse your listeners and followers because they know it's a certain sound.
Yeah.
You know, if I would put a new podcast out as Marco Silva and I play techno, You'll be like, wait, what? What's going on here? Like, because that's not my client.
Your moniker, it's Marco Hawk, right?
Marco Hawk, yeah.
I remember because you and I were on the same release, and you did it as Marco Hawk.
For Manuel Rotondo.
For Manuel, yeah.
Boarding pass,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just a way to please your needs and just to be different and just to not be like, oh yeah, but you can't be that, because that's something I've had to battle in the DJ career. And people still today come up to me and say, so I don't get it. So are you a DJ, or are you a dancer, or are you an actor?
Right? Like, yes. Yeah. Why do I have to be just one thing? Right.
Like, why am I all of a sudden not a credible DJ no more because I happen to know how to act?
Right.
Or I happen to have a dancing career. I just don't get it.
Right.
It baffles me. It's like that we are so narrow-minded.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just do that thing. But why? Rihanna is acting, and she's singing, and she has a perfume line. Why not? Why do I need to sit on talent?
Yeah. And why be committed to this one thing?
Yeah.
When if you get inspired and you get called to experience something else, why not go and do that just because you do one thing?
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So no limits, no regrets.
Yes. Make
no
what ifs. Plans, baby. Make no small plans.
Never, ever. Chase the feeling, don't chase the money.
Exactly.
Chase the feeling, don't chase the money. Exactly. Money will come and go with the feeling.
Yes. Yes. Do what you love and the money will follow.
Hey.
All right. Well, I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison.
I'll talk to you soon.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Just a heads up, if you are new to meditating and you have no idea where to start and are looking for a little guidance, I've got something for you. I produced something called the Mindful Mixtape, and I'll send it to you. It's 5 guided meditations led by me, all put to music. If you are interested in downloading this, text the words meditate now to 44222, and I'll send that to you now. Or you can find it at remixyourworld.com. So that's it for this episode. Did you find something inspiring? Is there something that Marco and I talked about that really resonated with you? If so, head over to the Remix Your World Insiders group on Facebook or tag me and Marco on Instagram and let us know. You can find all of our socials and connections in the show notes. Lastly, if you know somebody that could benefit from hearing this, please share it with them, like it, and rate and review in iTunes or Google Play stores. We appreciate hearing from you. And always, if you have feedback, questions, comments, or someone that you would love to hear me interview, shoot me an email at podcast@remixyourworld.com. That's it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.